The moment you finally release your grip is the same moment you discover what was always waiting for you. What if everything you've been taught about holding on is backwards? That the very act of releasing someone isn't a failure, but the beginning of your most profound victory. We clutch at fading connections like life preservers in a stormy sea, terrified that if we let go, we will drown in the emptiness. But what if that emptiness is not a void to be feared, but a sacred chamber where your true self has been waiting to be met? Carl Jung, the legendary explorer of the human psyche, revealed a startling truth. Our attachments are rarely about the other person. They are intricate maps pointing toward the unexplored territories of our own soul. The relationship that consumes your thoughts, that drains your vitality, is acting as a mirror. It is reflecting back fragments of yourself you have not yet learned to embrace. The anguish of release is not merely about losing another. It is the courageous, terrifying confrontation with the parts of you that you've kept locked away in shadow. I have known this struggle intimately, clinging to bonds that had long since turned to dust, believing my wholeness depended on their presence. It was only in the quiet, seismic shift of surrender that I discovered what Jung knew. The fulfillment we desperately seek in another is not out there. It resides within, a quiet pulse waiting for your return. The journey of letting go is a spiritual passage, a pilgrimage from the outer edges of your identity back to its radiant core. It demands immense courage, not because you risk losing them, but because you risk finding all of you. Letting go is not losing someone. It is finding yourself. Think of a connection that left a deep imprint on your life, for better or for worse. According to Jung's wisdom, that was no accident. Every significant person who crosses our path is a messenger, carrying a lesson about a hidden part of our own being. But here is the crucial turning point. When a relationship ceases to be a source of growth and becomes a well of constant turmoil, your deeper self is sending you signals. That feeling of unease, that emotional drain, is not random. It is a call from your soul to release what no longer aligns with your essential truth. Jung showed us that our unconscious is always speaking, yet we so often cover our ears. We choose the comfort of the known, even when it is poisoning us, because we are terrified of the silence that might follow. We hold on, fearing the emptiness their absence would create. But what if that emptiness is the most fertile ground you will ever know? Imagine you are walking through life with a heavy stone in each hand. Day by day, you collect more disappointments, unmet expectations, old hurts. These stones represent the attachments that anchor you to the past. Then comes the day you can no longer lift your arms. The weight is crushing your spirit. That is the moment of decision. To let go is not an act of erasure or bitterness. It is the ultimate declaration that you value your inner peace above all else. Releasing someone does not mean they vanish from your history or your heart. It means you reclaim the life force you had been pouring into a connection that was no longer serving your evolution. It is a brave act of self-love and a deep trust that life has a greater design for you. Have you ever noticed that after you finally release a difficult bond, you feel lighter, as if a fog is lifted from your mind? That is no accident. Jung believed that when we clear away what does not belong, we make room for new energy to enter our world. This new vitality can manifest as new people, new paths, or a profound new understanding of who you are. When you choose to let go, you're freeing not just the other, but yourself. Because often, the chains that bind us are not the person themselves, but the memories, the hopes, and the meanings we have wrapped around them. Jung explained that every meaningful relationship is filled with symbolic weight, and it is these symbols that truly hold power over us. By releasing your grip, you dissolve those invisible bonds and allow your own energy to circulate freely once more. The key to this liberation lies in turning your gaze inward. It is within your own depths that you will find the wisdom, the lessons, and the fortitude to move forward. But this is not a simple task. It requires you to meet your shadow self, those disowned parts of your personality you would rather not face. Jung revealed that our shadows are not monsters to be slain, but lost children that need to be welcomed home. In integrating them, we do not just grow, we uncover a piece we never thought attainable. When you make the choice to let go, a subtle magic begins to stir. It is as if the cosmos itself begins to align in your favor. The right people start to appear. Opportunities that once felt distant suddenly feel within reach. And most importantly, you begin to feel a deep, resonant peace within your own skin. This is the true transformation Jung spoke of, a homecoming to your authentic essence, to that inner sanctuary where you have always known what is right for you. And while the path may be challenging, I promise you, it is worth it, because letting go is not about loss. It is about the most significant gain you will ever know, the rediscovery of you. As you walk further down this path of release, you will notice something remarkable. The initial resistance you felt begins to soften into a new clarity. The relationship that once felt indispensable now looks different, as if you were viewing it from a higher vantage point. This happens because the act of letting go doesn't just liberate the other person. It unlocks dimensions of your own spirit that were held captive. It is as if your creativity, your passion, and your ability to dream are suddenly reawakened. Jung taught that genuine fulfillment is not found in external circumstances, but in the inner work we are willing to do. And letting go is the very essence of that work. No matter how hard you try to change another or force a connection to fit, real transformation ignites only when you decide to change yourself, when you choose to release your grip. This process will not be a straight line. There will be days filled with strength and conviction, and others shadowed by doubt. But here is a secret. Those doubts are not obstacles. They are essential parts of the journey. Jung taught that all meaningful growth involves venturing into the unknown, into the parts of our own landscape we have not yet charted. And it is there, in that exploration, that the real magic unfolds. In letting go, you uncover a fundamental truth. Peace is not a gift someone else can give you, nor is it a treasure you can find in the outside world. Peace is a choice, a state of being that arises when you accept life as it is and trust that a greater intelligence is always orchestrating a symphony for your soul. Jung named this phenomenon synchronicity, the mysterious way events align perfectly when you are in harmony with your own core. You might be wondering, how can I know for sure if I should release someone? The answer does not lie in logic or the opinions of others. The answer whispers from your intuition, that quiet, inner voice you sometimes hear and other times deliberately ignore. Jung knew that our intuition is a powerful conduit to the unconscious. If you feel that something is out of alignment, that the flow has stopped, that is your intuition speaking to you. But hearing it is not enough. You must take the courageous step of action. This is where many of us falter. We cling to the familiar, believing that to let go is to admit defeat. But it is the opposite. Letting go is one of the most powerful declarations you can make. It is telling life, I trust that what is coming is better than what I am leaving behind. And when you make that choice, doors you never noticed begin to open. A fascinating dynamic Jung explored is how our personal energy transforms after release. It is as if invisible chains snap, allowing you to move toward new horizons, relationships, and possibilities. But the most vital insight is this. In freeing another, you are also freeing yourself. And in that newfound space of liberty, you begin to remember parts of your spirit you had long forgotten. Pause and consider this. How many times have you altered your behavior, softened your voice, or abandoned a dream to fit into a relationship? How many times have you set aside your own desires for fear of driving someone away? Jung would say that each time we do this, we take another step away from our authenticity. And ultimately, that self-betrayal exacts a heavy toll in the currency of dissatisfaction, anxiety, or even physical ailment. Letting go is not quitting. It is the ultimate act of self-honor. It is recognizing that you are already whole and do not require anyone else to fill your inner spaces. It is giving yourself unconditional permission to be who you truly are, without needing to apologize for taking up space. And when you do this, something beautiful unfolds. You naturally begin to attract people and experiences that resonate with your genuine essence. The universe has a mysterious way of rewarding those who dare to release. You may not see it immediately, but the signs will emerge. An unexpected door opening, a new friendship blossoming, or a moment of pure stillness that fills you completely. These are the ways the universe responds when you choose to trust its current. When you finally allow the release to happen, something fundamental begins to shift inside you. That constant, heavy burden, the tension that seemed to siphon your vitality, begins to dissolve. In its place, a sensation of lightness emerges, as if you can take a full, deep breath for the first time in years. Jung described this shift as a reconnection with your essential nature, a return to the natural equilibrium we all possess but often forget amidst the noise of draining relationships. It is vital to understand that this process is not about forgetting someone or negating their role in your story. On the contrary, letting go means honoring what they represented. It is thanking them for the lessons they brought, and then allowing that chapter to transform into wisdom. Jung believed that every significant bond is a teacher, a guide that helps us uncover parts of ourselves we might otherwise never have seen. However, the true power of release lies not in what you set free, but in what you build in the space that remains. Often, that emptiness we so dread is actually a blank slate, a divine opportunity to rediscover your passions and your purpose. But to seize this opportunity, you must be willing to journey inward, to explore the shadows that Jung considered essential for our growth. These shadows, the parts of ourselves we avoid, are often the very aspects that get triggered in our relationships. Perhaps you have noticed that certain people seem to draw out your insecurity or your anger. Jung explained that this occurs because those individuals act as mirrors, reflecting aspects of our own psyche that we need to acknowledge and integrate. Letting go, therefore, is not just an external act of freedom, it is an internal act of healing. Imagine you are in a stream. If you cling to a branch for fear of the current, you remain stuck, unable to move. But if you choose to let go, even though you might feel uncertainty at first, you will soon discover that the water carries you toward new vistas, toward calmer pools full of potential. This is how existence operates when you dare to release. The natural flow of life begins to guide you toward what you truly need. And here is where the miraculous occurs. When you stop resisting, when you choose to trust the process, the universe answers. Jung called it synchronicity, those moments where everything seems to click into place, as if a hidden hand is guiding you toward your rightful path. Perhaps you will meet someone who sees you, or an opportunity will appear that feels tailor-made for your soul. These are not coincidences. They are signposts confirming you are walking in rhythm with your destiny. It is important to remember that letting go is a process, not a single event. It is a journey that demands patience and deep compassion for yourself. There will be days when you feel confident in your decision, and others when memories and doubts will resurface. But even in those moments of uncertainty, hold this truth close. Every step you take toward your authenticity is a step toward a life of greater meaning and fulfillment. Jung taught us that true satisfaction is not found in avoiding pain, but in moving through it, learning from it, and allowing it to reshape us. Releasing someone can be painful, but it is also profoundly emancipating. It is a powerful reminder that you do not need to cling to what no longer resonates. You deserve a life overflowing with authenticity, peace, and genuine love. When you finally let go, you do not just free the other person. You liberate the version of yourself that was trapped in that dynamic. You reclaim your personal power, your energy, and your innate capacity to dream. And in that process, you make an incredible discovery. You have always possessed everything you need to be complete. You simply had to release what was blocking your view. The journey of release also brings us face to face with one of Jung's most critical teachings, the power of self-acceptance. Often, the attachment we feel is not purely about love. It stems from a deeper, unacknowledged need to fill an internal emptiness. We cling because we believe, on some level, that without this person, we are incomplete. But Jung revealed that everything we seek externally already exists within us. When you decide to let go, your vision clears. You see that the relationship you thought was essential was, in many ways, reflecting your own fears and insecurities back at you. That craving for validation or a sense of wholeness does not originate from the other person. It comes from you. And by releasing, you give yourself the greatest gift of all, the chance to do your own work and discover that you are, and always have been, entirely enough. This realization is not always comfortable. Jung spoke of the shadow, that part of us containing all we refuse to see. When we let go of a deep connection, that shadow often rises to the surface. You might feel fear, grief, or rage, but these emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers indicating there is something within you that is asking for recognition and healing. This is why letting go is not merely about releasing another. It is about confronting yourself. And in that confrontation, you unearth a resilience you never knew you had. You discover that you can feel profound pain and still move forward. You can lose something precious and still find a center of unshakable calm. This is one of Jung's most profound legacies, the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Our innate capacity to transform, even in our darkest hours. It is common, when letting go, to experience what Jung termed the dark night of the soul. This is a period of deep uncertainty and introspection, where it feels as if your entire world is dissolving. But this dark night is not the end. It is the necessary prelude to a rebirth, an awakening that leads you to a more authentic version of yourself. Because in that darkness, you learn to trust your own inner compass. You learn to find your own light. And when you emerge on the other side, something beautiful has taken root. You realize that letting go was not a loss, but a monumental gain. You gained clarity. You gained freedom. And most importantly, you gained a deeper, more intimate connection with the truth of who you are. This is the gift Carl Jung wanted for all of us. The ability to live a life in alignment with our inner truth, unshackled from the attachments that confine us. The chains you feel are never about them. They are about you. The relationships that are meant for you, those that align with your essence, will never make you feel smaller. They will not ask you to sacrifice your truth. On the contrary, they will inspire you to become more of who you are, to expand, and to explore your limitless potential. And when you consciously release what is not fit, you open the door for these authentic connections to find you. Jung also spoke of synchronicity, the phenomenon where life's events weave together in a perfect, meaningful tapestry. When you clear out what no longer serves you, you create the conditions for these synchronicities to flourish. It is as if the universe rewards your courage by bringing into your life exactly what you need at the perfect moment. You may not see the pattern immediately, but with time, you will recognize that every step was part of a grander design. This process leads you to a more profound understanding of yourself and your place in the cosmos. You no longer feel trapped in cycles or bonds that deplete you. Now, you possess the freedom to choose from a place of self-love and authenticity, and that freedom is utterly transformative. As you progress on this path of release, you will notice a shift in your very energy. The chronic exhaustion, the internal struggle to maintain something that was out of alignment begins to fade. In its place, a new vitality emerges, a lightness that allows you to focus on what truly matters, your connection to yourself and to the deeper calling of your life. Carl Jung spoke of how our psychic energy is redirected when we stop investing in things that are untrue to our core. By letting go, you liberate that energy, and what once seemed impossible to dream to create, to feel truly fulfilled, now begins to flow with natural ease. This is not merely an emotional shift. It is a spiritual transformation that touches every facet of your existence. At this stage, many people encounter what Jung described as the integration of the shadow. By clearing away what does not belong, you gain a clearer view of the parts of you that had remained hidden. You might recognize patterns of behavior, limiting beliefs, or fears you had not confronted. And instead of judging them, you can begin to accept them. Because accepting your shadows is not a sign of failure. It is the ultimate act of self-love. Jung taught us that shadows do not disappear when we ignore them. In fact, the more we suppress them, the more control they exert over our lives. But when you choose to face them, to integrate them, and to learn from their lessons, an incredible thing happens. You become a more complete human being. You no longer need to seek validation from the outside, because you have found an inner peace that cannot be shaken. This process transforms not only your relationship with yourself, but with everyone around you. When you decide to let go, you break the old patterns that kept you confined. In doing so, you begin to attract relationships that truly resonate. Connections based on mutual respect, genuine support, and authentic connection. It is crucial to remember that letting go does not mean closing your heart. It does not mean becoming cold or ceasing to love. On the contrary, it means you're learning to love from a more truthful place, without the limiting attachments of expectation and fear. Jung said that real love can only bloom when both individuals are in contact with their own essence. And by letting go, you give yourself the opportunity to experience that level of profound connection. The universe, as Jung explained, is in a constant, silent dialogue with us. Synchronicities are the language of this dialogue. They are signs that you are on the right path. And when you release what does not serve you, you open the channel for these synchronicities to occur more frequently. It might be a chance encounter, a revealing insight, or a wave of profound peace. These are the ways the universe tells you that you are moving in the right direction. And though this path demands bravery, I assure you, it is worth it. Because when you choose to let go, you are not just releasing something. You are reclaiming your sovereignty. You are remembering that you are the author of your life, and that every choice you make has the potential to draw you closer to your soul's deepest purpose. Imagine, for a moment, what your life could look like if you gave yourself full permission to let go. Consider the space you would create, the energy you would reclaim, the dreams you could pursue. This is not an act of loss. It is an act of profound gain. It is a homecoming to your essence, to that inner knowing that has always understood what is truly best for you. In the final analysis, letting go has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with you, with your capacity to trust the journey, to listen to the quiet wisdom of your intuition, and to align your life with what resonates at the very core of your being. Carl Jung showed us that authentic transformation is an inside job. And when you allow yourself to live from that place of truth, you discover there is nothing left to fear. Because everything you require for a joyful, meaningful life is already, and has always been, within you. So today, I invite you to reflect. What are you ready to release? What could you gain if you dared to unburden yourself from what no longer serves your highest good? This is your moment. Your chance to take a step toward your authentic self, to trust the unfolding process, and to allow the universe to guide you toward what you truly need. Remember, the act of letting go is not an ending. It is a glorious new beginning. It is the first step on the path to a life that is richer, more authentic, and more deeply aligned with your purpose. And though the way may seem unclear at times, trust that every step is carrying you towards something far greater than you can currently imagine. When you decide to let go, you do not just free yourself. You send a powerful message to the cosmos. You are ready to receive what you truly deserve. Letting go is not weakness. It is the pinnacle of courage. It is a declaration that your peace, your truth, and your purpose are more important than any attachment that binds you to a past that is over. And in that moment of declaration, everything changes. You begin to see how the world around you starts to realign. The weight you carried transforms into a liberating lightness that propels you forward. Carl Jung taught that each of us holds the innate power to craft a life in harmony with our inner truth. That power does not lie in external things or in the relationships we try to control. It resides in our courageous capacity to release what no longer serves us and to open our hearts to what the universe has been waiting to give us. And that, dear viewer, is one of the most profound transformations a human being can experience. Today, I want to invite you to look honestly at your own life. What are you carrying that is not yours to bear? What relationships, fears, or beliefs are holding you back from your full potential? Take a quiet moment, breathe, and ask yourself, what would I gain if I chose to let go? The answer may startle you. It may inspire you to take a brave step into the unknown. But trust in this. That single step will be the beginning of something extraordinary. If this message found a home within you, if you feel there is someone in your life who needs to hear this truth, I invite you to share this video. Every time you share, you are not just helping one person. You are helping to spread a message of liberation, authenticity, and profound personal transformation. Leave a comment below. Tell me which part resonated most deeply with you. Share what you are ready to release, or how you plan to begin this journey of freedom in your own life. Your words have the power not only to inspire others, but to create a powerful web of support and connection within this community. Remember, the act of letting go is not the finale. It is the overture to something far more magnificent. It is your opportunity to live in full harmony with who you really are, and in doing so, to inspire others to find that same courage within themselves. Thank you for being here, for listening with an open heart, and for taking action to change your life. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, live with authenticity, act with courage, and keep your heart open to the miracles that await. See you soon. If this exploration resonated with you, please support our community by liking this video and subscribing to Winds of Thought for more journeys into the human psyche.